there we go. Okay, we're back at it again with another episode. Whoa, this is gonna be a long one. I have a lot of notes, so there's probably not gonna be a lot of editing, but oh well. Anyways, so this episode is being recorded on May 3rd, and I just wrote down everything. So these are gonna be my May 3rd thoughts. Lately, I've been really impulsive with money, which is crazy because I don't have a job. I spent $52 on sushi yesterday, which is insane. We went to this really expensive sushi place, and it was all you can eat. But you know, the thing about those places where it's all you can eat or all you can drink is that it feels like you're getting a good deal, but unless you literally eat enough food to be worth more than what you paid for, you're getting ripped off. Like, the only way that would be a good deal is if you eat like $100 worth of sushi, which is insane. Who can eat that much sushi? I don't know. I also spent $51 on a shirt. It was like $30, but with shipping and tax and a bunch of other random nonsense, and it ended up being like $50, which is crazy. It was a shirt. I don't know if you guys watched Turtle with Hat. I got their merch. I don't normally get YouTuber merch, but I don't know. I like their videos. I don't know. I felt guilty about it, but I thought about it, and like my new job is starting in like 2 days, so it's not like I'm gonna have money. Like, I'll be able to make the money back, and it's not that serious. It's not that serious because, like, who cares about saving money right now? You know, the world's gonna come to an end. We're on a floating rock in space, you know. And I've really thought about it lately, because like I looked at my student loans, and it's really bad, and I'm like, damn, I might have made a really horrible decision that is going to financially cripple me for the rest of my life, and it was really stressing me out. But you know, I don't know, I'm just glad that I spent $100 this weekend, because what it made me realize is that me being worried about finances is stupid. I'm not gonna have kids, so who am I gonna pass all my money on to anyway? It's not like I have somebody to inherit my wealth. And I honestly think that retirement is a psyop. Everyone tells you to worry about retirement. I don't even think retirement is real. Literally, all old people have jobs. Like, they all have jobs. If you go to like a grocery store or a fast food place, guess who's working there? Old people. And they'll all tell you that they're technically retired, but because their social security isn't enough, they have to have a job. So how are you retired? You're not retired. People will literally have 6-figure jobs and then will quit their 6-figure jobs and retire so that they can live off of pennies from social security and a minimum wage job. What? And those are supposed to be your golden years? No, that doesn't make any freaking sense. Also, the way our country is set up, we don't have any like third spaces for people to meet anyone outside of work anyway. So being retired might actually feel really isolating. So who gives a shit, you know? Also, just like the concept of waiting until you're old to be free and travel and do what you want to do is really dystopian to me. Like, why can't I just travel now? Why can't I do all the stuff I want to do now? By the time you're old, you can still do all that stuff, but you're old. Your body is falling apart. You don't have the same stamina that you used to. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to waste your entire life working, making some billionaire richer, and then you get like what, maybe 10 good years before you get really old and die. Man, that's some BS. That is some BS. I've decided I'm only gonna save money for emergencies and for purchases that I want to make in my youth, right? So let's save up. I want to save up money to travel. I want to save up money for a better car. I want to save up money for I don't know, like a concert, things that actually make sense, things that provide value. I don't see the point in, building up generational wealth. I mean, the way politics are working out right now, we might not even have a next generation. Who gives a crap? Anyways, back to the sushi. The sushi thing, it was like a social thing that my club at college was doing. I didn't really want to go, honestly. That day, I was so depressed. I had like a throbbing headache, and I was like, bro, I really don't want to go. And it was raining, like the weather was really nasty. Today, it's beautiful outside. There is literally no clouds in the sky. It's so blue. The sun is blazing. I'm hot right now. Today would have been a great time to meet up. Funny enough, but whatever. But I did go. I forced myself to go. I was late. I was 30 minutes late, which is horrible. I've been really trying to work on my punctuality lately, and so far I've had a good streak, but that day there was just no way I was going to get there on time because I had to stop and go to the bank to put money in, and I'm glad I did because the sushi was expensive. The meetup was awkward because I'm not like super close with anyone in that club. So it was mostly just small talk, like, oh, what are you doing for graduation? Or do you have any offers? And is that a fucking cat? It is. A cat jumped off of my car. I didn't even notice it was there. That's crazy. Anyways, yeah, it was just a bunch of small talk. And, I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of small talk. But it was okay. I'm glad I went. It's kind of, this episode I'm going to be talking about being lonely, and I think it's a little bit ironic to complain about being lonely and then refuse to go to a social event. So I felt like I had to go. I felt like I was obligated to go. But that kind of brings me to my next point, which is not having any close friends. So I did all 4 years in college, all 4 years in a university. I made zero close friends. There was not a single person in college that I met that I would feel comfortable hitting up for a favor, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, they're not really my friends. I mean, I don't hate them. They're really nice people. They're chill. If they invite me out somewhere, I'll go. But we're not really friends. Like, we're not really friends. We're not really close like that. It ain't that deep. We don't have a lot in common. And, I definitely think that sometimes it's not my fault. Like, if you meet someone and you don't have a compatible personality with them, or they're just not feeling you, it's not really your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. Sometimes people just don't get along with you, and that's okay. But I think in my case, there are some things that I do that make it harder for me to make friends. And I think the big problem I have is that I just don't put myself out there enough. And I'm not just talking about physically putting yourself out there, because yes, leaving the house, touching grass, going out is important, but it's not enough to just go out, right? You have to actually be yourself. You can go to a social event, but if you don't actually talk about yourself, if you don't actually express yourself, if you're not honest, if you can't communicate, if you don't have any actual like social skills, that social event is not going to help you. And I'm sweating. Oh my God. I don't know what the temperature is, but damn, bruh. I'm not much of a sweater. So if I'm sweating, it's hot. But yeah, it's just not enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough to really be who I am. And that kind of brings me to the big topic. The big topic of today's episode, which is I can't be myself as long as I'm stuck in the closet. So I'm bisexual, but lately, I if you're bi, you know what I'm talking about. Like, my sexuality is fluid, okay? And lately, it's been flowing more towards women, okay? I wouldn't consider, I'm not like a lesbian, right? I don't think I have comp het or anything like that, but lately, it's been flowing more towards women right now. So, I have to deal with that, and I can't make friends and go out and be myself if I'm stuck in the closet. Oh shit. Is my neighbor not come out and trying to talk to me? I'm trying to record a video. Okay, I think we're all good. Whatever. Okay. So, being stuck in the closet. So there's like, I think there's like three kinds of closets, right? There's like ignorance, which this is like you're queer, but you don't know that you're queer, right? Like this is like the before you realize that you're gay moment. And this one, it's not that bad, because ignorance is bliss. You know, you don't fit in and you feel confused, but you're not entirely sure why you fit in. So you're able to follow those typical social scripts, and even though they're not working for you, you feel comfort in knowing that you're trying. You know, like maybe you're gay and you're dating the opposite sex and you don't know why it's not working, but at least you have the comfort in knowing that you're trying to make it work, right? Then there's, you know, being down low, right? You're on the DL. This is like you're living a double life. You're living a double life. Maybe you have a girlfriend and you're a gay man, and you have a boyfriend on the side. Maybe you're on Grindr, you know? Maybe, maybe you have a secret lover. Maybe you're cis in your day-to-day life and you cross-dress when no one's looking. I don't know. You're on the down low. You're on the down low. Being on the down low sucks because you're literally lying. You're actively lying to everyone around you. You're not just omitting information. You're literally a liar. But at least you get to be gay. You're not being openly gay, but you get to be gay. You get to be yourself a little bit. You're kind of like a superhero. Well, more like a supervillain because you're a liar. But you have a secret identity, and it's it's not the worst. It's not the worst. You get to experience the pleasure of being who you are, even if it's not public information. Okay. But I think the worst kind of closet is when you're literally closeted. Which to me, being closeted means that you are keeping it a secret to everyone, but maybe a handful of people. And you're also not acting out on your queerness, right? So somebody who's closeted is like, maybe you're gay and you're not, and you know you're gay, and you're not trying to date anyone. You know, maybe you're even gay and you're in a straight relationship, but you're not going to leave the relationship, even though you're not attracted to your partner. You're in the closet. Or maybe you're trans, and you're trans. You know you're not going to transition. Like you're just stuck in the closet. You're not actually doing anything to act on your queerness. I think this is the worst one, because you know that you're stuck in a cage and you're not trying to escape. That's some bullshit. Truly, that is some bullshit. You're just waiting for your life to start. You know, I saw the TV Glow. At this point, I think I've watched that movie like twice. And that movie has really impacted me because I think it communicates that point of the closet being terrible so well. Okay, so if you guys haven't watched the movie, go watch it. It's on HBO Max. And I think it's on YouTube as well. You can like buy it on Google Play or whatever. So basically, it's a movie and it uses like horror movies as like an allegory for being trans. Which I'm not trans, so I don't get it completely, but like I understand it in relation to myself and my sexuality. So basically the movie is about this kid, Owen is a normal boy, but he feels kind of like out of place at the same time. And he meets this other girl named Maddie, and they bond over a TV show that they like called The Pink Opaque, which is kind of like this riff on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And through that show, Owen starts to realize that he might be queer, right? Or I guess she might be queer. She's trans. And she doesn't do anything about it. She doesn't transition. Instead, she chooses to stay in the closet and live a normal, quote unquote, life. But Maddie comes back and basically tells Owen that like the TV show was real and that they're characters in the TV show, but they're stuck in the real world. And the only way for them to go back is for them to bury themselves alive. But Owen refuses to do it. And it's just a really depressing ending. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. There's like a bajillion videos explaining the movie. Go watch any of those. Maybe I'll put them in the description. But I'm going to move forward assuming that you've already watched a movie, or that you've at the very least have watched a video explaining it. Because I'm really bad at explaining and summarizing movies. Okay, so go watch the movie and then come back. It's not that long. It's okay. And it has a good soundtrack. Anyways, so in the movie, Owen uses The Pink Opaque, the TV show, as a form of escapism. And I feel like I do the same thing with queer media all the time. Being in the closet, it has made me chronically online and has made me chronically consume media. I'm always reading queer books. I'm always watching queer YouTubers, and I've gotten to a point where I'm now watching YouTubers that are really, really small and don't get a lot of views. So it's now like really difficult for me to even have a conversation with people about what I'm watching. I get embarrassed when people ask me what movies I watch because it's just a bunch of obscure gay shit. One time I forgot to log out of my Netflix, and my mom saw Heartstopper. And I'm not like the biggest fan of Heartstopper, but my mom saw Heartstopper on the Netflix home screen, and she was like, "Who was watching this gay shit?" And I was like, "Oh, that was an accident, girl. No, it wasn't." Oh my gosh. And also, like, being chronically online is so isolating. Like, you're not supposed to be on your phone all the time. You're supposed to be living your life. But when you're in the closet and you're afraid of living your life, all you can do is live vicariously through people on TV. In the movie, Owen has literally no friends besides Maddie. He has no friends. And it makes perfect sense. Maddie's the only person who Owen can trust with this big secret. And having this big secret of her being trans, it makes it really difficult for her to like meet new people and make new friends with people because she doesn't know their intentions. And I definitely feel the same way. Being in the closet has made it really difficult for me to bond with people that I've just met. You know, I mean, Gen Z in general isn't like super homophobic or anything. And I've kind of like implied to other people that I'm queer, but like, I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable talking about being queer. I feel uncomfortable talking about people that I find attractive. I find it comfortable expressing my interests or my desires as a queer person in normal conversation. You know how hard it is to make friends and bond with people in your early 20s if you can't talk about dating or crushes or like anything like that. It's really hard. Welcome to the closet. Okay. The movie is very nostalgic looking. It looks like an old TV show. There's a lot of references to the 90s. And I really like this because it makes it feel very nostalgic and like it's stuck in the past. And I feel like the character Owen is stuck in the past. Like she's always rewatching The Pink Opaque. She's always reliving these memories with Maddie. It's like she can't move past that, and that's definitely how I feel. I feel like lately I've just been like ruminating on past experiences, trying to understand my sexuality, and I've gotten to the point where I've gotten all I can out of my memories. Like I can't do any more self-reflection. Any more self-reflection I do is just redundant and a waste of time. Like I've said everything that needs to be said about my past. I now need to live my future. Ooh, that goes hard. Y'all, I'm not gonna be able to edit any of this shit out. I don't have time. I think I wrote down in my notes, I'm stuck ruminating on my queerness instead of just living it. What a mood. Okay, Owen says in the movie that she has a family. She says that she has kids and a family of her own, but we never see them on screen, ever. I think part of this is because maybe she is actually stuck in a TV show or something. But I think really what this really is communicating is that being in the closet makes it really impossible to connect with family. I've become so much more isolated from my family since I realized that I was bi, because my family's homophobic. Sometimes they'll just say things that just genuinely make me uncomfortable, and I don't know what to do. I can't properly defend myself because otherwise I would out myself. So I feel very distant. I feel very separate from them. You know, what do I do when I'm in the living room and one of my family members is complaining that everything these days is so gay? What am I supposed to say about that? I don't know. You know, okay. So the end of the movie is really jarring. In the end of the movie, Owen has a mental breakdown at work, and she goes to the bathroom and she cuts herself open with a razor and tears open her chest. It's not gory, there's no blood, but inside of her chest is like the static of a TV glowing, and it's like an allegory for like her discovering her true self, and it's really beautiful. But after that, she goes back to work and she works at this arcade, and they're celebrating a kid's birthday party there, and everyone's singing happy birthday to you, and Owen's just panicking, and then she screams, and then the movie just stops. It's a very, very abrupt and kind of terrifying ending. It's like definitely like this, like there are so many scary visuals in that movie, but I think Owen screaming at that birthday party is like the worst one. And I think it's a really powerful ending because it kind of shows what it's like to be in the closet. Because it really does feel like your life abruptly stops. Like, okay, how am I supposed to keep going and living my life knowing that I'm lying to myself? Knowing that I'm depriving myself of being who I am. Before I realized I was bi, I genuinely, honestly thought that I was going to, like, be totally 100% straight and end up with a husband and have kids. And as I gotten older, I realized that like that might not happen for me. How exactly am I supposed to keep living this lie and doing this, like, and living in this heteronormative world if I myself am not heteronormative? Like, Owen literally tore open herself and saw her true self and then had to go back to work. Like, that's literally what it feels like. It's like your life kind of just stops. I can't do anything about this. I can't act on anything. I can't change anything. What am I supposed to do? Everything might as well just come to an abrupt stop. Roll the credits. The movie's over. Totally sucks. So if I want to avoid being like Owen, basically I need to do some gay shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll go to Pride. Next month is June. I don't have any money though, so we'll see. I need to, like, right now I'm not ready to meet anyone new, romantically or platonically. I don't have any money, and there's a bunch of other bullshit going on in my life that's making it hard for me to meet anybody. And I'm also back to living at home, so I have no space, which is why I'm recording in my hot car right now. So, but when I'm ready to meet new people, maybe I'll try to go to gay apps, gay places. I don't know. I feel like I wasted my opportunity to try and do this. I lived alone. I lived with roommates that were not homophobic in college for a year and a half. I did nothing gay. That is crazy. I tried just doing shit with men. I don't know. When I realized I was bi, I thought I was going through a phase. So I didn't take it seriously. I didn't take my own sexuality seriously. And I just decided that I was just going to end up with a man anyway. So I put zero effort into talking to girls. It wasn't like I was on dating apps and it wasn't working out with girls. I literally just made no attempt to talking to a girl, which is just stupid. I also, like, wasn't on TikTok when lesbian TikTok was, like, at its peak, which is a damn shame. Not that I, like, would have wanted to post thirst traps or anything, but I mean, like, just having that representation would have been nice. You know what, I lied. I did make one attempt at talking to a girl, and it was really bizarre. I'm not gonna tell you where I met her because it's kind of embarrassing, but basically we were talking on Snapchat and it was super awkward. I had no riz. I was basically like, oh, I've never done this before, and she was like, it's fine. And then I sent her a picture and she was like, oh, you're gorgeous. And I was like, what? I don't know. At the time, I didn't get it because, like, that feels very platonic. Like, gorgeous. That feels like something you would say to a friend. So I was like, is she even into me? But now that I've, like, consumed my lesbian content, I realize that lesbians just really like the word gorgeous for some reason. So, okay, cool. So it was really awkward and I wasn't super into her. And we tried to meet up, but shit kept happening on her end, so we never got to meet up. And I don't talk to her anymore. But I don't know. I'm like, it was just super awkward. Didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So I don't know. I think sometimes I feel like I wouldn't be desirable to women. I don't really fit into, like, a category of masc or femme. I feel like there are parts of me that are masculine. Like, I kind of have larger hands. And you know what? I don't want to say that I'm buff, but, like, I don't have to work out to have a little bit of definition in my arms. You know what I mean? And my voice is kind of deep, but at the same time, I also think that I'm kind of girly. Like, I don't dress super masc. I don't know. I don't really know where I would fit in on the range on the range of masc and femme, and I think a lot of women have strong preferences for one or the other, but I don't know. And I also don't have a ton of experience of women liking me, not because I've been getting rejected, but because it's so it's so hard to find out women, that I don't have a lot of experiences of women hitting on me. I have plenty of experiences of men hitting on me, but I have hardly any experiences of women hitting on me. I think I've been hit on by like one woman in my life. It was back when I worked at the grocery store, and I had gotten these like boho braids. And if you're black, you know what I'm talking about. Those boho braids changes your life. Like, people treat you so different when you have boho braids. But I walked out, I had my boho braids, and everybody was like, "Oh, damn. Whoa, you look so good, blah, blah, blah." And it was ridiculous. I was getting fucking harassed by every single male customer that would come in. It'd be, every single male customer. I'd be like, "Do you have a phone number with us?" And they'd be like, "Can I have yours? Shut up. Go away. Bye." Anyways, so I had this like lesbian coworker who was kind of a douchebag. She would mansplain a lot, but she wasn't even a man, so it was extra annoying. She would mansplain so much. She thought I was an idiot and couldn't do my job. Anyways, I get my boho braids, and she comes in, she looks at me, and she goes, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, bruh." So that's pretty much it. That's the closest I've been to being hit on directly by a girl, unless I want to count all the times that I've jokingly flirted, but that's not really a thing. So yeah. Also, I need to get better at taking pictures of myself. I'm not photogenic. Every time I think I'm smiling, I look back at the picture and I'm not smiling, and I look really uncomfortable because I am uncomfortable. I need to get better at taking photos, or I'm gonna die alone, and I don't know what to do. So yeah, I don't know. I just need to cut myself some slack. I'm not giving myself enough credit. I haven't put in enough effort into meeting women, and I've already decided that women don't like me, which is silly. That's so silly. I want to try first. I want to try, and then if I get rejected, then I'll become all red pill, and I won't become red pill. But if I get rejected, then okay, great, I can move on. But you can't decide that people don't like you when you haven't put yourself out there, So, how long have I been talking? 27 minutes. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the end of today's episode. Sorry if the quality's weird. Yeah. Thanks for watching.